Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the American Dota League Season number 2. We've got Sneaky Nyx Assassins versus Team Liquid in a best-of-3 series. Remember, guys, this is the playoffs. It's the semifinals. Winner moves on to the grand finals. Loser, they're done. It's a single elimination bracket.
Team
A
Liquid's
bit of a
turn
rematch
to
here
pick.
between Sneaky Nyx Assassins and Team Liquid. Should be a good one. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Mont. With me tonight, my friendly co-caster. What is it, Greg? What's going on, man?
Not too much. Traveling right now, and I'm ready for some Dota, man. I'm ready for the grudge match. This is the grudge match for me in Dota, Liquid versus Nah.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's been
10
hyped up a bit.
seconds remaining.
I don't know if it's going to stand up to that series we saw earlier with Mouse Sports versus NAR,
5
which was a good
seconds
series.
remaining.
But yeah, we talked about it a bit, and I mean, this is a rematch, like you mentioned, from
Reserve
the playoffs.
time.
Sna getting eliminated, Liquid moving on. Now Sna have a chance at, well, the prize pool, which is going to be pretty nice if they move on to the grand finals and play up against Mouse Sports, which will be a tough match. But we're already jumping into the draft right now, and you weren't kidding about that microphone, man. It's not that bad, though.
It's a steel. It's a Steel Series microphone actually.
Oh, well, it's actually not too bad. It's not the worst thing I've heard in the world. So
All right,
there's
well,
that.
apologies to anyone who it's not my normal quality.
No,
so.
to be fair though, for a microphone, it's not a production value microphone. It's there to be used as a gaming mic. So I think it's pretty good. It's fine either way.
All right, excellent. Hopefully, no doggerino.
No,
No barkering.
By a
that'd be
team
unfortunate.
pick.
But you just gotta believe, man. You just have to believe.
Oh, I believe.
Okay.
But something notable here. It's not playing with two stand-ins. They're missing both Ush as well as Whitebeard.
Yeah, they did that actually last night in the series we saw last night, which I casted alone. Thank you very much for that, by the way. It was a little bit lonely for me.
Sorry, I was at the casino.
10 seconds
She's like, "Where's
remaining.
Greg?" Like, I don't know why I assumed you would be there because I didn't ask you beforehand. I
5
just like
seconds
ask people at the last
remaining.
second. It's like, "Oh, Rhea, you want to come cast?" It's like, "No, I got to cast tonight. It's not gonna happen." It's like, "All right, great." So I'm alone.
Reserve time.
So I had two
I'm
best of 3
so
series,
lonely.
which were they were quite lonely. But today is a bit different. At least I have
Dire
some help
team pick.
today, which is nice. So, all right, draft's underway. Sna will pick up the Luna, which is a hero they did really well with, I believe, in the series against Revenge. I'm pretty sure they played it, and SN was able to get plenty of farm. He played the carry last time around. Hannah Montana was actually playing instead of Lust. It was the same 3 core players they had. They had Fluff, Mike, and Sna. And then SN stood
10
in, and then
seconds
Hannah Montana was there
remaining.
instead of Lust. So it was actually rather interesting. But no Hannah this time around.
Team
They will not have
Liquid's
that former
turn to
complexity
pick.
player, and they'll pick up the Visage for Fluff and stuff. A solid draft to start things off.
Fluff and Stuff plays a pretty mean Visage. We've seen him a lot on Enchantress and things like that. His micro is certainly top tier, so we can look for him to be really active with those birds and try to make a huge impact on the game as soon as he hits that level 6, split
Yeah.
pushing, getting pickoffs, and I'll be interested to see how Luna fits into the
10
Sna lineup.
seconds remaining.
Not normally a hero, Ush would play, but
5
I'm interested to
seconds
see how
remaining.
SN carries this one.
Yeah, I mean, SN... The thing
Team
was, he
Liquid's
just didn't get
turn
ganked
to
by Revenge for
ban.
the most part, and he found farm wherever it was available to
Dire
him. So
team ban.
Team Liquid will pick up the DK. I like this a lot coming out for Team Liquid, and I don't know, they've got some like roster issues. I don't know who's playing where right now, to be honest. For
Yeah,
Liquid.
they've done some serious rotations. The most recent ADL series, I guess that was that the
10
most recent one for
seconds
Liquid. I'm pretty
remaining.
sure the one when we were still in California. TC was on
5
support.
seconds remaining.
Demon was in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Koikaba was on carry, and
Yeah.
they sort of swapped around the offlaners a little bit. But
Reserve time.
we'll see if that continues to be the case. I can actually, I don't know. It seemed okay. TC doesn't seem very comfortable on support. Obviously, I mean, I don't really expect him
Team
to after
Liquid's
playing
turn to
carry
ban.
for 2 years or whatever. So
Yeah.
if he does take up that support role again, we'll see how it works out for him. Demon, I think, on the mid lane is actually really nice for this team. He, love him or hate him, has a pretty huge energy,
10
and
seconds
that
remaining.
definitely carries over when he plays in
Dire
Dota.
team
So
ban.
I think having him on Impact mid laner is pretty nice. But it is going to be the Dragon Knight most likely for that mid lane, and I'm not sure that's a Demon hero.
Well, it could be. I
It
mean,
could be, but it's not. Not when I think of Jimmy. I definitely don't.
you
think
think of team fighting heroes. You think of tempo controllers when you think of
10
Demon.
seconds
Magnus comes to
remaining.
mind. Batrider, obviously. Yeah, Kunkka even to a certain extent, which is
5
more of, I guess, a
seconds
carry kind of thing. Which, if you could play Kunkka, at the same time, I don't know. Dragon Knight kind of has that same potential with Breathe
Reserve
Fire,
time.
but yeah, I don't know.
We'll see how they end up landing this. No one really knows, only they know, as they have been, like you said, swapping around, dealing with their internal issues, trying to figure out the best way to make the team work. So
Yeah.
it's
So
getting crunch time, though. It's getting down to crunch time. They won't be participating in the summit, which is in just a couple days, but obviously they will be participating in the international. So
yeah.
they need to, at least in the plan, they need to get their shit in order for that.
I think a lot of us also agree that it's probably the most talented team at the play-in series.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And I think they have the most to lose. I think they're expected to win that.
Yeah, I mean,
that
the other
play-in
teams
spot.
are what? CIS,
Yes.
Mouse Sports, and
Phoenix.
Dire
No, not
team
Mouse Sports.
pick.
Yeah, Virtus Pro.
Virtus Pro. Okay.
Virtus Pro, CIS, and MVP
Virtus
Phoenix.
Pro, I don't know, man. The way they played, if they play like that, I think they could easily win, but I'm not sure they're going to.
Yeah, that's a good point. They have enough individual skill, and they've been playing together for just as long. Well, Liquid,
Yeah.
Liquid are this. They're like we said, these highly skilled players, and they're coming into the series, and by all accounts, they should win against two stand-ins for
10
sneaking
seconds.
Yeah,
assassins.
against two stand-ins, if there was no stand-ins here, I would say Snipe, given Liquid's problems recently. But with two stand-ins, that's
Reserve time.
you're losing your carry player. Support, I don't think Whitebeard's really a shot caller. I think Fluff is mostly does that, so it's not a huge deal in that regard. But losing your carry player, and I mean, you're used to the carry C play. I don't think I've ever seen Nosh
Team
play like Luna.
Liquid's turn to
Maybe he
pick.
has, but I think he plays more like Tiny and Naga and stuff like that.
I wouldn't be surprised that he
Dire
has a
team
very
pick.
solid Luna, though, but at the same time, he's not here. We'll have SN jumping in to stand in there. Lust has been around for some time. I think you and I both know Lust. At least we've seen him play from time to time on multiple teams, whether it's been... I think he was on... I don't know. He was in the MLG American qualifiers for some time, and I forget what team he played for. I want to say it was PSST4, but
Could be.
that sounds correct, but I could also just be making shit up at this point, so...
You know what, Mott, the beauty is that I'll
10
say,
seconds
you're right.
remaining.
Thanks, dude. This is a lot of just agreeing with me here.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh man, well it's just to make up for the flame that you received before this game started.
Yeah, I got called out,
Reserve
man.
time.
I got called out hard by Mike, by you, by Sean. Listen, I'm just not going to chat in lobby anymore. It's just not going to happen, so...
Witch Doctor here for Sneaky Nyx Assassins, and Rubik for Team Liquid. So they've got a pretty nice support duo. I'm a big fan of Rubik and Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, me too.
Rubik
Team
does
Liquid's
he's
turn
very
to
active
pick.
in the early game. Lift is a pretty powerful setup for even a short range Dragon Tail. Fade Bolt does a good amount of damage, and obviously he has some good things to steal here.
Dire
Stealing
team
Soul
down.
Assumption, Lucent Beam, Cask, Roar, Axes, Death Ward. Death Ward's pretty easy to steal. So
Yeah. That's very
well,
true.
actually, it's okay. So this is actually something I didn't know. Death Ward is easy to steal if the person playing Witch Doctor doesn't
10
know that you can
seconds
toggle
remaining.
Voodoo Restoration when you use your Death Ward.
Oh my god, that blows everything out of
5
proportion
seconds
for me.
remaining.
Oh man.
That was
Team
the
Liquid's
thank you,
turn
Fog
to
Dota,
ban.
for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows how to play some supports, I'll tell you what. Had a bit of a rough series earlier, but for the most part, yeah, this is, I think, a good game for Rubik. It feels like Liquid are going for the 6.80 lineup because they have the Weaver and the Ancient Apparition with Chilling
10
Touch being so
seconds
very strong.
remaining.
Whereas when you see like an AA or another hero along
5
those lines,
seconds
you saw
remaining.
Mouse Sports like pick up a Troll Warlord and run like that Battle Trance and have a really good time with it. Liquid go for
Reserve
the
time.
tried and true. We'll pick up a Rubik, we'll pick up a Weaver, we'll go from there. It's difficult to
Dire
deal with.
team
Beastmaster is
pick.
going to be super useful early on in the game. Roaring up that Weaver is going to be incredible. But again, Rubik has that potential to steal Roar. I mean, the animation's pretty long. You can't generally get the axes off before Rubik can jump in and steal. So that is always going to be a bit of an issue. It really comes down to whoever's playing the Rubik. Can they get the steals off? And on the other side of things, it also comes down to, like you said, the micro from Visage, getting his birds down, Witch Doctor hitting his stuns and using his Death Ward in an applicable situation.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
I actually like Sna's draft a bit more just because it seems more
5
fresh.
seconds remaining.
I mean, that's not really a
Yeah.
fair...
Yeah, I mean that's a
Okay, well, hold on here.
Team
Let's back it up.
Liquid's turn to pick.
Well, you know,
That's-
this is a hero that I would have firmly put in dumpster tier, so I'm interested to see what Sna do with this. It looks like it's just gonna be.
It's offlane, I'm
Looks
pretty
like
sure.
this is offlane, yeah.
Mike's done this before.
The Omni Knight IX Spike. Oh god. Here we go.
Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna play out, but one thing's for sure, we're gonna have a good time watching it.
He's garbage in lane, which is really one of the biggest problems because anyone who's half decent will not really get hit at all by that purification. But on the other hand, in team fights, he is pretty valuable. I mean, Guardian Angel pretty much shuts down Team Liquid's lineup. Repel is pretty good as well, so could be a pretty potent pick here. We'll find out.
Yeah, this is certainly going to throw a monkey wrench. This is going to throw a monkey wrench into the draft of Liquid. They'll pick up the Bristleback, which has seen a bit of a resurgence lately. Mostly, I think we saw it in the European like CIS kind of and the TI4U qualifiers. We saw it a bit more there. It's a hero that I like. The base damage nerf hurt him pretty hard. He doesn't have that heavy presence as much as he did in the previous patch. But
10 seconds
Sneaky Nyx
remaining.
Assassins, I don't know how I feel about the Omni Knight. You're absolutely right also. We put this firmly in the
5
dumpster
seconds
tier, and it wasn't
Yeah,
just
this was
us.
one of the bottom 5. This was one of the bottom 5 heroes for most people, at least. I mean, he's situationally okay, and honestly, against a DK and a Weaver, could be the situation. Bristleback does a fair amount of right clicking as well. If you're, a core against him, and we'll find out how it works for them. I'm actually really curious to see if this is good or not. I mean, as long as he doesn't get trashed in lane, he should do okay. With that being said, he might get trashed in lane. They have Weaver, Ancient Apparition, as well as Rubik. 3 great range heroes to harass him back. So he's going to probably look to get a quick Soul Ring and then just try to spam Purification and not die.
That's the key, isn't it? Not dying in this game.
Not dying. That's
specifically.
definitely the key for this lineup and
That's a note, by
most
the way.
lineups.
They're going to do some 5-man aggression. We've seen a lot of teams, especially in the American regions, do 2-1-2 a bit more. A lot of teams will just send 2 heroes into that offlane and make sure that offlaner survives. The killing potential is still there for Liquid. They can get kills here with this defensive tri-lane rather easily. Like you talked about, there's a lot of burst damage coming through. We are going to jump into the game. It's game number 1 between Liquid and Sneaky Nyx Assassins, and honestly, this could go either way. Again, though, 2 stand-ins, it's not looking favorable for Sna. On the other side of things, Liquid, their lineup, they're changing around the roles a bit, and we'll get right into it. Bulba's going to be on the Rubik here. We'll have Pegasus, who's Demon, on the Ancient Apparition, supporting as well. Waitsu's going to be on the Bristleback, playing core, which I don't think I've seen him done. I don't think I've seen him on cores recently, or even ever for that
He did
matter.
in the last ADL game. He played offlane,
Okay.
and he played Darkseer, I think.
All right, actually, that's fine. And to round out the lineup, it's going to be Quickfire on the Weaver and TC on the DK, but 5-man aggression from Sneaky Nyx Assassins here.
Yeah, possibly running right into him. Looks like they're going to stop for now. It's going to be IX Mike on that Omni Knight, Sna
30
on the
seconds to
Beastmaster,
battle.
Fluff and Stuff on the Visage, SN on the Luna, and Lust on that Witch Doctor.
Yep. So they might just have an aggro tri-lane down bottom. It looks like they're going to go ahead and do that, which is surprising because
that seems better to me, I guess, because Omni could easily just die in this lane repeatedly. So
yeah.
against the Bristleback, I think he'll do okay.
And they're not like dodging this either. They know that this tri-lane is still staying down bottom, at least for the time being. It's very dangerous. Chilling Touch is going to be the critical factor here, and whether or not you get a good
begins.
cask off and Soul Assumption damage as well. Luna's not the best in an aggro try because, well, you do have Lunar Blessing, which is nice, but the range for your right-click damage isn't quite there, and until you get Lucent Beam, you don't do as much work. Securing farms shouldn't be an issue, but with Weaver down here as well, it's going to be kind of difficult. They do have Sentry Wards to grab kills on the Weaver if they want to go for him. He's a bit slippery, but again, Shikuchi level 1 cooldown at 12 seconds, it's a possibility. So, again, the tri-lane versus tri-lane is going to be very telling of how this game goes pretty much
Yeah,
in full.
I'm most worried about just the low HP pool on the Luna. I mean, 454 HP is not a lot when you're getting chewed through by Chilling Touch damage, and we'll see how it works out here. It looks like they're going to try to set this off with a kill. Fluff and Stuff has Soul Assumption and Invis Rune, so they want to get something started here. Quickla does have Shikuchi. They're going to have to be careful if they want to move it on him.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't have any way to initiate there. They only had Cask, and level 1 Cask is pretty awful.
I think you need Lucent Beam to set up these kills,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it might be a little bit before we see too much action out of Sna on this bottom lane. But TC in the mid lane, he's going to take up his normal role of, sort of the farming mid laner with that Dragon Knight. So I like this a lot. This is, this is definitely a TC hero for me. So just consistent. This is, I think, a good fit for him. I like him quite a bit on these heroes that are just pretty consistent. And you kind of know what you're getting. I think he does a good job on them. So.
Yeah, he's a good Kunkka player as well, which we saw in the qualifiers a bit, but I like Dragon Knight as well. For all of the reasons that anyone that's a good Dragon Knight player,
Yeah.
I mean, he has that potential to just sit in lane, farm for a while. He could just push down the tower once Sna rotates, which he probably will have to at some point. I mean, this is a Beastmaster. Get level 6 and get out of here.
As soon as he's level 6, he's going to be looking to roll on out and try to set up something for. Kind of an interesting matchup, though. It looks like Dragon Knight is getting the better of this lane by just a little bit, and not too unexpected. Maybe Snog does a little bit better once he gets 4 online. The slow is pretty annoying. But then he's going to have to deal with higher level Breathe Fire, so it kind of goes back and forth a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like this is one of the very few matches where DK can actually win his lane. We talk about it a lot. You don't really ever win a lane as a DK, but...
Oh, wow.
against a
Mike is
Beastmaster.
almost killing way too.
He's
Jeez.
got Degenor, he's got Purification as well. Way too... I mean, yeah, you have Bristleback, but Purification does a lot of damage, and it's pure, so... Not that that really matters, I don't think. I think the damage reduction still goes through even if
I'm
it's
pretty
pure.
sure. I was just thinking about that, and I'm not 100% sure, but
I mean,
I'm pretty sure it does. I'll do a little bit of investigating, though.
well, either way, I mean, Waitsu does have to play carefully up here. He can't just kind of run in, especially with the only level 1 Bristleback. And Mike can just kind of sit here and just CS. So the solo safe lane Omni is working out. He'll get a very fast mech if he continues to farm up at best pace, which is really just the point. Maybe the Soul Ring first, like you mentioned, but he already has a Ring of Regen stages now, both of which, I mean, obviously you're going to be building into that Soul Ring, it looks like. So we'll see how things go here. Waitsu's going to have to back off. He actually has plenty of, well, only 2 tangos. He actually has something ferrying out to him as well. A bottle is going to be there, so Waitsu's going to try to get rune control as well in that top rune spot. And TC will probably just go ahead and crow for a while.
Yeah, that's going to be the key for him, just continuing to bottle crow, spamming out this Breathe Fire. He has gone for the point in Dragon Tail here, so he's not too defensive. He doesn't think he needs the extra regen from Dragon Blood. And I'm not surprised. This lane is going great for him, so...
18 last hits coming up for TC now, and yeah, I mean, the early point in Dragon Tail is fine. I agree with you 100%. He'll take composite axe damage, but other than that, he's good to go. He's got the most CS, well, actually, second most now, as Ix Mike has hit up at the 20 CS mark here with 5 denies on top of that. Down bottom, I mean, this is the lane we thought was going to be action-packed, and right now there's not much happening. Luna's farming with 7 last hits, but there's 19 for Quakefoot right now, so they're not really shutting Quakefoot down, and they're not getting anything for this Luna. This tri-lane's not working out at all, really, for Sneaky Nyx Assassins.
Yeah, Liquid are playing this smart. They know that there is a pretty high killing potential here with Lucent Beam and Cask, so they're going to actually smoke up now, move around the side. They've been quiet up until now, but going to look for an initiation on Fluff.
No telekinesis coming from Bulba. Looks like he was maybe just out of range. Now roaming around SN. Gravechill's going to go. The Cask is going to hit up as well. The Lucent Beam. Not enough damage. Fadebolt's going to fly. Soul Assumption. First Blood should go to SN. No!
Oh,
Bulba fogs
my.
and... Wow.
Ouch.
That's really rough. That should have been a kill. And they can't get it done.
That's really bad. That's a kill that you need to get. I mean, already this tri-lane has been this tri-lane now I would call a small disaster with no kills for them, bad farm in the Luna, and these supports now extremely underleveled, both level 2. Bulba I think is maybe still level 2.
He's
but
level 3.
No, he's level 3, so he's doing just fine. And Ancient Apparition level 2 has rotated towards the mid lane. They're going to initiate on Sna.
Mike got first blood top though, which we missed. That's a bit unfortunate. TC gets the kill mid. Mike looks like Waitsu was playing too aggressively. He had a haste rune and he just dove the tower and Mike just purified him, I think, and got the kill. That's the only thing that I can really think about. But well, at least Sneaky Nyx Assassins get first blood out of it. They do lose their Beastmaster mid and they'll take some tower damage as well, but I don't know what happened top. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think Waitsu just underestimated it, and after a little bit of looking around, pure damage does interact exactly how expected with Bristleback. It's just, it's normal, so
Okay. Good to
he
know.
still has that reduction. But
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Purification is still a huge nuke, though, and looks like Mike is going to work. 360 pure damage is half the HP of Waitsu, so...
Yeah, he has to be careful. Purification is no joke. The only problem is it's kind of an ass ability from time to time. It's difficult to get off and...
Yeah, it can be rough if you're not in the right.
Bottom lane, Weaver actually gets caught out of position. They will get the kill. Looks like Sna rotated through to use that Beastmaster Roar. I didn't see him TP down there. They get the kill. 2-1 now going for Sneaky Nyx Assassins, and he'll pick up a double damage rune, which is pretty nice. And he gets a return kill after TC grabbed him mid with the rotation coming out from Demon, Ancient Apparition there. So
And that was a really well-timed gank by Sna because basically TC's Dragon is already off cooldown, so he's not going to be able to push the tower down immediately when Sna leaves the lane. He has Roar, he easily gets a kill there on Koikaba, and that's the kind of thing that they need. They really need more of that, though. They need another one. Either that or Fluff and Lust can easily just roam. I mean, this is a great little roaming duo with Cask, Chill, as well as Soul Assumption. You should pretty easily be able to nuke down even someone like, maybe not Dragon Knight, he's extremely tanky, but...
The problem I feel like for the Visage now is he does have mana issues. Fluff needs to grab it. Well, he actually has a stick, which is very nice. And then Grave Chill and Soul Assumption, it's actually kind of tough to get both off now. Assuming you get full mana, you should be okay, but
not like you're gonna. It's much harder to get, you know, the value soul assumptions. But
Yes, that's the thing. Sna, Ice Vortex. Dragon Tail's gonna go in just a second. They telekinesis first. The Fade Bolt to follow. Sna getting blown up. TC now Breathe Fire. And the AA getting a double kill with the right clicks. Lust, Chilling Touch not going to latch. The TP a bit late, but 2 dead. Great rotation. And from Bulba using that telekinesis to start things off. The Elder Dragon form. Really nice for that Dragon Tail, and they get 2 immediate kills.
it's the power of the Iron Dragon, man. This new set.
It's really good. Kindred of the Iron Dragon. I don't. This
I'm a
thing
big
is,
fan.
I like
This
this.
is the first game here for TC on it. He has 0 Breathe Fire kills, so we'll see how it serves him. In my first game, I went 13-0, so you know.
Dire's structures
Wow, dude, you're so
are
cool.
fortified.
I'm so glad that you got that. Those kills and all of those.
It's all
gems.
about, dude. It's all about
Dire's
the
middle
Iron Dragon.
tower
But
is
SN
under
bottom
attack.
lane. He's gonna get pressured here. Bulba's
Bulba
moving in.
looking for the telekinesis. SN's gonna eat his tree and make sure he gets out of there. Nice usage of that last tango that he had just to survive. Fluff will rotate. Mike's chasing after Waiting in the top lane, who, by the way, is taking the damage. He's got Degener on top of him. Mike's not going to go any further. He's not going to dive the wave. He will Purify just to make sure he clears the creep wave and gets a little bit of health on top of it. Bottom, again, Bulba is taking some damage. SN has 23 last hits, but Koikfa at 41. Doing fairly well. He doesn't have the most farm in the game. He's going for Midas, so Koikfa's feeling pretty confident right now, I'd say, at about 8 minutes in.
Yeah, this is a smart idea, I think. He knows that the farm for SN is stunted pretty heavily, so he's going to have a little bit of time where he might not normally have for Luna to have to farm up an HP item to be able to actually walk into those fights. So I like this choice by Koikva. It's a little bit greedy, but they have the Dragonite, but it's just, you know, gone for the very standard build where you get boots, then the bracer, then you finish up the treads. You're probably going to go for the Ogre Club afterwards, and
Radiant's
Well,
bottom
that'll be
tower is under
extremely
attack.
There's 4-man aggression coming out, actually 5.
Radiant
Mike is rotated down. They
structures
want to be
are
aggressive
fortified.
here. They want to get this tower, but that means that there's going to be a trade. TC's going to take this tower easily with Elder Dragon form, unless they TP to defend.
Dire's
There is no
top
glyph.
tower
They'll
is
all
under
have to
attack.
TP. TC's got to jump in. They will use the axes to try to clear this creep wave, but the damage
Radiant's
is already
bottom
dealt.
tower
TC will
is-
grab the tower.
Radiant's bottom
Timeout's going
tower
through.
has
Koikfa didn't want to take too many
fallen.
tower
Dire's
shots there, and
middle tower
he gets his
has
health
fallen.
back, but a tier 1 for a tier 1, a lot of rotations. Space actually created for way 2 in that top lane to put more damage on the tier 1 himself.
Dire's top tower
And
is
he's
under
actually got a
attack.
decent bit of CS as well, so okay.
yeah. I think this is going to be the key for Liquid. Not really sure they can take any head-on fights. Maybe once they have BKB on TC, they'll be able to fight a little bit better, but up until then, I think it's actually going to be pretty tough for them because of Death Ward, Soul Assumption,
Dire's top
Omni Knight
tower
GA
is
is
under
no joke
attack.
against their lineup, and of
Radiant's
course
middle
fighting into
tower is under
Eclipse is
attack.
pretty annoying as well. So I think it's just going to be split pushing here,
Dire's
and they are going to
top
get
tower
another one.
has
They grab another
fallen.
tier 1, but it's going to be a tier 2 here for Sneak and Assassins in the bottom lane, and I'm not sure there's much Liquid can do to defend this. It looks like they're going to go for a maybe a trade.
Radiant's
Double
bottom
TP spec and all
tower
that
is
other
The
under
only thing
attack.
they can get that's a tier 1 on the map is bottom. If they try to go top, they're not going to put enough damage to
Dire's
take it.
top
So
tower is under attack.
it's not knowing that they have maybe the better early game lineup, like you mentioned. They have Eclipse, they have some damage, and they're getting
Radiant's
close to maybe
bottom
Visage
tower
Bridge here
has
in a couple of
fallen.
levels. They can take these tier 2 towers, which gives them the farm for Essen that he desperately needs.
This is the only thing I'm worried about for Nyx Assassins. These supports are still only level 4 in comparison, both level 5 for Liquid. Not a huge difference, but Rubik is going to be level 6 soon, and Ancient Apparition is actually very close, so that's something they are going to have to worry about. And level 6 on Visage is huge, obviously. Same for Lust. Death Ward is a huge fight turner, especially when you have Grid Initiation, like Lucent Beam and Roar, so Nyx Assassins, I think, are just going to ball up and push middle, it looks like.
Yeah, they want more tier 1 towers. They want more gold, and that's fair. This is actually going to create space for SN, and they did this so well in the game yesterday. They just kind of moved around as a team. S4 created space for SN. He came in where he needed to, and he fought as a team. But now, if you're Liquid, you maybe think about defending this. I mean, you
Radiant's
do
middle
have
tower
a
is
Bristleback
under
who's
attack.
getting a mech very soon, and maybe you think about going once you have that item. But like you mentioned, they also have level 6 for Ancient Apparition, so Ice Blast is available. They're going to Dragon Tail right now. They're going to catch Sna out of position. Telekinesis, Purification, keeping him alive. There's the Repel. And the Guardian Angel coming through as well. Waits going to try to chase this down, but everyone's backing off. Mike saving the lives of his comrades with that nice Purification. Sna will survive. The Ancient Apparition Ice Blast debuff is gone.
That's not great. You really don't want to use GA like that, so that's really not what Nyx Assassins are looking for. They wanted to use GA to push in, but now SN has rotated over and decided that maybe he can contribute to this. TC is actually going to be going for a Shadow Blade. Not a surprising item build for this hero, really, but a little bit surprising, I think, for TC. And this could be could prove to be a really poor item choice if Snot continue to just group up like this. You want to use that when they're split pushing more.
Yes.
You try to pick off the supports. An Ogre Club perhaps might have served him better, but it's hard to say until he actually gets on online and we see what the movement of Nick Assassins looks like. If they aren't 5, Lust is a pretty easy kill. So
they're going to throw the Ice Blast out. It's going to connect on 3. That was really nice. But there's no follow-up. They're going to repel SN just to make sure he doesn't take too much damage, and he will back away. But these Ice Blasts have been on point from Demon, honestly. He's actually got 1,700 gold in the bank as well. I don't know.
Next gaming, boys.
I mean, he might just go for a Midas here, too.
He could get a Midas.
He's saving up for it, it looks like. Fade Bolt's going to come through. SN's going to have to back away. I agree with you wholeheartedly on TC's item choice here. They are not really just... They're not splitting up for sneaky Nyx Assassins. And if you're farming the jungle, maybe SN will just start to go ahead and farm elsewhere. But and that's the only real probability I see with this Shadow Blade, is if SN starts farming the jungle, if he goes to the top lane, or even any other lane, then maybe TC can catch him out of position. But I feel like a BKB is better suited in this engagement. Early on, just having that magic community is really solid. Then again, I don't know.
You could say, I mean, you could say Death Ward and Roar maybe make the BKB not worth it, but there's still a lot of magic damage coming out of Nyx Assassins.
Absolutely.
I guess they have Purification as well, but I feel like not getting touched by Cask, Lucent Beam, and Eclipse is almost enough reason for me to buy one, but as well as Soul Assumption, of course. But we'll find out. I mean, this is a high-risk, high-reward item in my opinion. Like, if it pays off in spades. You get a lot of pickoffs. It's really easy for you to sort of pick and push. But if it doesn't pay off, it's a really awful item on this hero. Like, you need to get kills with it. It's not really a good escape item anymore because of the longer cooldown. We'll find out how it works. I mean, it could be really good, but it could, it could also just kind of sit in his inventory and not really do much.
We'll see. While that was happening down bottom, Sna actually ended up dying to Quakefoot, who spotted him out. They used the Ice Blast. They got him very low, and then Sna cleaned up using his, the Swarm. Is no big surprise. He had plenty of money. He's going to get towards an Aghanim rather quickly, which also gives him levels as well, which is important. Yeah. Level 2 Ice Blast is solid. So Liquid seem to be at least somewhat in control. They have the late game maybe. Obviously, SN is going to be a bit of an issue here. The only problem is they've lost a couple of towers, but now that they're getting these items up and ready to go, they have a mech on Bristleback now. They can maybe fight. TC has his Shadow Blade, so now maybe it's Liquid's time to shine here. We'll see if they put on the pressure or even defend at their towers if they get pressured themselves.
I actually am a big fan of Way 2 on these core roles. The way he plays, he split pushes a lot. He really pushes out side lanes to get farm, and I think like durable heroes like this serve him a bit better because, I mean, how often have we seen Way 2 get picked off in side lanes as like a Rubik or something? It seems like it happens all the time. So I'm interested to see how this works out for him. It's, I think, a little bit more of a comfortable role just because of the way he pushes outside lanes.
Yeah, it seems like it's been working well, at least in this game. It's only been one game, so I haven't been able to watch too much. There's a Smoke of Deceit gag now coming up for Sna. They're going to smoke up, they're going to blaze it, looking for Bulba. Here under this tier 1 tower, getting chased down, but the TP reactions are coming. They seem to know this is, oh, wait, so you just canceled your TP. That's not good. Welp indeed. They should get this tier 1 tower, though. It looks like now that everyone's kind of backed away from it, so...
Sneaky Nyx Assassins know that they're under the gun here. I mean, they've because that aggressive tri-lane didn't work very well, they're getting out farmed, they're getting out XP'd with the pulls that were happening from the supports. There's a pretty hefty XP advantage in the favor of Liquid, 7,500 and about 5,000 gold. Another brutal Ice Blast, man. Jimmy is really good.
Oh boy. Well, but what are you doing there? That was not the place for you to be. While that was happening, though, at least TC and Quake would take the tier 2 tower top, which is actually a really big deal. Yes, they lost Bulba, but they're actually forcing out rotations up in this top lane. And they're actually going to put some damage on this tier 2 tower. Time-lapse from Quakefoot just to avoid that damage. There is a Shadow Blade on TC. I doubt any of them, if they do have detection, will they get there in time? It doesn't even matter. Mike doesn't have it. SNM doesn't have it. So, what's surprising to me is you mentioned the lead coming out for Liquid. 5,000 at 16 minutes and almost 7,500 seems absurd considering they've lost a lot of towers. But they've also gained some
a lot of it. I mean, if you look at CS, like, it's just not even close. Quakeba, far in the lead, building towards that. Lincoln's already has that Midas, and he has kind of snuck under that timing like I was talking about just because of the outrageous amount of farm he has. So.
66666. Whoops, indeed. Android. I don't know what happened, dude, but...
He's probably typing something in the stat window or something and blew up. Rip.
Yeah. Well, it happens.
Snot has a Blink Dagger coming out here. Good initiation potential. It looks like TC is going to be going directly for that BKB afterwards. I can get behind this. His rate of farm was pretty good, so he was able to get that Shadow Blade fairly early. He hasn't really used it yet to get a kill because, again, everyone's just been grouped up. But I think he got it fast enough where it seems like it's going to be okay. He's still going to be building towards that BKB next, and now they're going to use it.
TC, no Elder Dragon form. They're actually, Nyx is all backing off here. They don't have any sentries, but now they're going to jump in on Bulba here. Maybe a bit of a bait. He's taking a lot of damage from the axes. Dragon Tail on IX Mike. There's going to be the Ice Blast. The mech going through. Guardian Angel, not yet. Purification. Death Lord might turn this fight around. Already 2 dead for Liquid on the backside. Fluff is going in. Demon's going to fall as well. TC now on the back foot. Now the axe is coming through. The Soul Assumption again connecting. He's going to try to bottle up. He will use that Lothar's. There's no detection, sadly, but good fight.
Well, they won't
Nyx.
good fight there from Sneaky. Nyx Assassins, like I was talking about, you really cannot afford to push into that lineup, and they sort of took the bait there. I mean, they tried to initiate, and then a really nice Blink Roar to help start up that fight. The initiation range with Beastmaster with that Blink Dagger is fairly ridiculous, so it's a really nice job there by Nyx Assassin, taking advantage of that, making sure that they do get the good fight there. The Eclipse, as well as Fluff and stuff, really easy way to get some huge Soul Assumptions as well.
Yeah, I mean, the damage that was outputted from Fluff alone in that engagement was pretty outstanding. I mean, he got a couple of kills. We missed the majority of them on the backside, but IX Mike dying early on. He did use his Guardian Angel, so there's that. He didn't get too many repels off, obviously, which is actually a big deal. I mean, if that's a fight without Mike, with Mike getting blown up, then you have to imagine what a fight with him and with SN farmed as well is going to be like. In fact, there's going to be a swarm coming in. They've already lost the Roche, though they cannot contest it now. SN will grab
basically
it.
done SN.
Yeah, that's
pretty
huge.
impressive. Yeah. And I have to say, like, that Death Ward, pretty underwhelming. Only level 1, so not too much damage and no bounces yet. That really gets more brutal at like level 11, level 16. But you already, I mean, TC was forced to turn around. He didn't have a sun to stop it, and you can't really just stand there. And it seems like Sneaky Nyx Assassins are starting to claw their way back into this one. They still have a pretty massive gold disadvantage, and they need to farm a bit more efficiently. Liquid is getting way more out of the map, mostly Quakeova, and that's something that Liquid are gonna, or Sneaky Nyx Assassins rather, need to work on. As that Linken's is just about done for Quakeova. The ultimate orb is on the quarter.
What I think Liquid need to do specifically, and this is something that they were doing a bit earlier ago, is just kind of split push. Just make room for your Weaver and DK. Take towers when you can. And don't allow kind of Nyx Assassins to group up as 5, because it's clear that this team fight potential for Nyx is a bit higher than Liquid's, at least right now. Depending on what items TC gets, maybe they can turn things around here. But again, the BKB down up for SN. We talk about late game potential here, and Aluna getting late game, getting Godzilla mode, which we've talked about with the people from the NA Hub. I mean, like, Aluna late game is scary, difficult to deal with at best, and impossible at worst, so.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and we'll see if Quakeova gets enough farm. Maybe he can just chew through the Luna with physical damage. Definitely a possibility, but I think Butterfly will definitely be on the list here for SN. But at the same time, Quakeova is going to be knowing that he is buying MKB at some point. Yeah. So there's the Linken's. It's done at 20 minutes, and considering the items he bought beforehand, that's quite a good timing. I mean, he went Midas, Treads, Wand, Passy, so that was a very conservative build. Did not get greedy and go straight for that Linken's. He's gotten a lot of items beforehand, and 20 minutes, that's still very impressive.
He's level 14. He's out-leveling everyone by 3. The Linken Sphere is going to get popped. They're going to use that Roar now. He did time-lapse. That is not good. The Soul Assumption, the right-click, the Purification. That is all they needed, and they pick up the gem on top of that. That's actually a huge kill. I don't know what popped that Linken Sphere, but it certainly worked, whatever it was. And he time-lapsed right afterwards, which I don't know why he did.
Yeah, that was a pretty sketchy time-lapse. That was the most questionable thing, I think, for me, but did not work out. Demon's going to throw in another Ice Blast here. These Ice Blasts are really on point, but unfortunately, again, it looks like Liquid is just not interested in fighting here. They're instead going to move on Snot, taking a lot of right-click damage. Holy crap, he's dead.
Yeah, that was armor reduction.
He doesn't have a lot of HP, honestly. I mean, he's a strength there, but not have a lot of HP.
That was interesting.
Radiant's middle tower is under
It's not getting
attack.
blown up, but at the same time, they will take down a tier 2 tower in this bottom lane. Wei2's at least doing his best in there. They take a tier 2 tower down mid, rather. There's the Death Ward coming through. Actually gets canceled immediately with the telekinesis list, but it doesn't matter. They crit the kill anyways. Bulba's very squishy. He dies in like 1 or 2 of these nukes, so. TC, actually, there's a gem. The Eclipse is going to go through. The Shadow Blade is going to give you that move speed, but not much else. You're going to bring him down with the Purification. IX Mike getting the kill. They did not know that gem was up and online. They just got it there, and IX Mike is, in fact, carrying it, so. Oh, boy.
That's
Radiant's top
I'm not
tower
sure.
is under
Liquid
attack.
don't seem to be dealing very well with this 5-man aggression from Nixon. I mean, the problem is that they're out of towers to push, so that's a huge issue. And wow, BKB for Bristleback, man, they're very scared of this man.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I feel like it's a good item choice.
Radiant's
The
top
BKBs,
tower is under attack.
they're going to help out a lot. Again, you talked about physical
tower
damage,
has
it's there,
fallen.
but Fluff has been a force in these games, and his soul seems to have been doing work. He actually didn't even go for Medallion, he just went straight for Hood of Defiance, which I actually like a lot. If he gets this into a
Radiant's
pipe,
top tower is
that'll be
under
huge.
attack.
Ice Blast is not going to be as big of an issue. They'll try to bring down the last Tier 2 tower of the game at 22 minutes in. That's actually surprising. There are no outer towers. Oh, hold on. There's that mid-tier 2
Radiant's
left
top tower
for
has
Sneaky Nyx
fallen.
Assassin, but that's it. So,
Yeah, and both teams just split pushing, balling up and pushing if you're Nyx Assassins, and are they actually going to go high ground here? They have BKB on Luna, so that might be their ticket to go.
Dire's middle
I don't
tower
think they can
is
ever
under
kill
attack.
Way 2 though with mech as well as BKB. That's going to be an issue.
well, you say that, and then crazy things happen. Ice Blast will connect on SN. He's got Repel, though. That duration, it's level 3, so it's only 10 seconds, so not the most in the world, but also a Diffusal Blade at some point on any one of these heroes. I don't know who would carry it, but a Diffusal Blade might be necessary here
Dire's
for
middle tower
Team
is
Liquid,
under
because Repel is ridiculous.
Yeah, Repel is pretty absurd, and they're continuing to use it, and their Quakeba gets last tier 2, continuing to split push, continuing to put gold in the bank, 150 CS. He is at the top of the net worth, and actually Luna has recovered quite well, not too far behind.
Roar gets stolen, was actually used. No, it was the Axis instead. The Death Ward going through way too mechs up. Solo Subject, you said they couldn't kill him. In fact, they're not doing it. He's actually going to pop the BKB. Ice Blast going to connect. The pipe is there, though. There's the Fade Bolt. Fluff getting blown up by that Breathe Fire. They're turning this fight around. SNN backing off here. He has not used his BKB yet. He's getting low. IX Mike as well. He has to purify himself right now. He's going to Koikfa. Will time-lapse just in time, but Mike loses the gem. The BKB has been popped for SN. He's trying to kill Bulba. He's going to bring him down. Now, Way 2 is going in. SNN. He is low. He'll lose the Aegis. 4 down.
Dire's bottom tower is
He's going to
under
be back up in a
attack.
second. It looks like SN is going to get Dragon Tailed. No BKB. He is going to fall yet again. That is a huge spike going Liquid's way. That was not good for Sneaky Nyx Assassins. That's the opposite of what you wanted going into that tier 3 tower.
Yeah, and I mean, part of the issue with having an Omni Knight is the damage is just not there on that hero. I mean, Purification, sure, is okay in bursts, but it's not like a sustained amount of damage. It's not a good way to kill someone like a Bristleback who was just tanking up that entire fight. He had so many stacks of Warpath. He was just killing people. It was ridiculous. Way 2 has had really nice game for himself.
Yeah,
Even though he's only 1, 2, and 5, he's had a really good game.
I feel like the mech is really big in the BKB pickup as well, which kind of saved him at the end of that fight. He didn't get bursted down, and then all of a sudden the cool sprays start to stack up. The Warpath starts to get higher and higher, and then Fluff just dies instantaneously. This squishy lineup, not able to be saved by IX Mike, who did his best. He lost the gem, and it should be on somebody for Liquid. In fact,
Oh.
I don't know what just happened there. That's a bit
Oh,
unfortunate.
that Courier was trying to steal that gem back. That's what was happening there.
That's the raiding courier. Let's bring out a Deso. I don't know where this one died. Oh, there it is.
The Dire Courier died right here. It was trying to bring out a gem, or to bring back the gem. He was on a secret mission.
I'm assuming the gem dropped.
Yeah, the gem dropped and they picked it up.
Nope, actually Demon has it now. It's a bit unfortunate. So, yeah, and also the
He has an
Desolator
axe,
gun.
holy shit!
Yeah, he's got an axe. I
Demon
mean,
Dota.
he had like a 15-minute Midas or something. Not that fast, maybe, but it was a really quick Midas for an Ancient Apparition. He's also level 11. So level 2 Ice Blast plus Ags online. It feels like now Liquid could almost win any fight because of this. There is not that many levels up on some of the Sneaky Nyx Assassin supports, and even IX Mike to a certain extent, and Sna. Like, if they take an Ice Blast to the face directly, no amount of repels and purifications, well, not that purification can, but no amount of repels will save you, I feel like, in that scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. And SN now, or Sneaky Nyx Assassins rather, need to come up with a new plan. I mean, they have issues right now. They can't kill. There's no way they can kill this Bristleback. TC is getting really farmed as well, which is a pretty big issue. And I mean, his BKB is
SN,
not.
this is not good. Desolator strikes. Shikuchi, SN might get purified and will. And Mech, that actually was very close. Quickfoot almost got that kill with the Desolator. My goodness.
And I don't know. I mean, it doesn't feel really good here going super late because Nyx only has one source of real damage, where Liquid has two with the Dragonite and as well as the Weaver. And oh god, Snot's dead. Auto
Ice
land.
Blast.
No way.
Yeah,
Right
boom,
here.
done. Easy. Easy kill
Picking
for
up those
TC.
breathe fire kills.
Yeah, how many does he have, actually?
It still says 0. It doesn't update the line.
Dire's bottom
Oh,
tower is
Weaver
under
gets a
attack.
solo kill on Fluff. This game is starting to fall apart, I think, for the next Assassins. They had a timing here where they can use this Omni Knight effectively. Maybe you can argue the Luna doesn't fit into the lineup that well, but Lunar Blessing is pretty nice for pushing towers. So, I don't know. Things just didn't really line up here. Lust did not get fast enough ags, although it was done now, so maybe they can turn it around. Having the ags, huge, it's a huge deal.
Nope, TC gets another one. That's huge.
That's 2 straight deaths for SN.
I don't know why you decided to go bottom when your teammate just died there. That's a bit questionable, but at the same time, it's not a big deal.
Questionable Dota.
IX Mike's going to get ice blasted. Quick was just going to kill him, I think. Repel's not going to save you. I don't think. Might, actually. He's going to shatter either way, I'm pretty sure. Goodbye, IX Mike. Rip and Pepperoni, I think. Repel is really long, actually. He might survive this. He's going to survive this. Nope! Just kidding! Alright. That last tick, though.
Oh man, that's I want to ult chat so bad.
I actually thought the same exact thing. I was like, can I ult chat right now?
That was the worst shit ever.
Like, oh.
He could have re-repelled, I think. He was going for the animation.
Mid-animation, yeah. That's unfortunate.
God, that's the worst.
And I realized very quickly this is not an EL. I cannot ult chat. That's lacking tact. So Mike will go down a bit, unfortunately, even. And all of a sudden, Liquid get like 4 quick kills, and all of them being solo kills. So they get the experience, they get the gold. BKB coming out for Weaver, very defensive choice for Weaver. I like this actually kind of a lot, considering what he's got to deal with in this game. And since he already has the Desolator, he's not really lacking for damage. There's a Maelstrom for TC, which you might have talked about. He's actually got his level 3 Elder Dragon form, which is huge. And they're starting to just run away with this game. They have a 15,000 gold lead and a 20,000 experience lead. I don't see Liquid giving this one away.
Yeah, with the composition, I think really the only thing that can maybe happen here is Liquid could take a really bad fight into an Aghanim's Death Ward and Eclipse, but it would have to be a really bad fight, even because Eclipse doesn't matter that much. The cores are rocking BKBs now. Well, Koikova almost has his, but Bristleback and Dragonite both have theirs, so... Death Ward is pretty good, but I'm not sure if it's that good.
Sna gets hit up with an Ice Blast. That can't feel good. Mike's just going to run at him and give him a repel. But yeah, I mean, Demon's just been a terrorist this entire game, just sniping people left and right, just throwing out that huge Ice Blast, bombing people from downtown.
It's been pretty brutal. I mean, his Ice Blasts have been really good.
Yeah, they've been solid all around.
That makes things really difficult to just IDC supports now that the Ags is up. I mean, Lust only has 1,300 HP. Sna only has 1,100. He has no HP items. Has a Talisman of Evasion. That does not help against Ice Blast.
That's interesting. The 25%
It's going to be a Halberd?
Well,
I mean,
maybe. I mean, even if he gets that, is that going to help? You're not going to Halberd the Weaver. It's just not going to happen. He's got a BKB and a Lincoln Sphere, so...
Sna seems like they're grasping at straws at this point. They wanted this game to be over already.
Yeah, they did. And they smoked up too. But the thing is, if they wanted this game to be over, how are you going to go for Luna? And
I mean, the aura is pretty good. I mean, they have a pretty sick aura lineup with
Dire's top tower
they realized
is
very
under
quickly
attack.
that the Luna didn't get form, which you mentioned. There's going to be a fight here breaking out. Chilling Touch is going to go. The Elder Dragon form. BKBs are popped. The Roar's going to connect. There's going to be Eclipse. There's going to be the Guardian Angel as well. It's looking not too bad for Sneaky Nyx Assassin. TC's going to town. Guardian Angel is going to be done. Now they're turning it around. Meanwhile, SN's still running in. They want to try to finish Roshan, who's still at half health. While that's all happening, guess what? Quakefull is going to take a melee Rax. There is no glyph. Quakefull wants this desperately, and he's going to get it. Alright, well, it was looking good, but then I realized that Quakefull wasn't there the entire time, and all of a sudden, Sneaky Nyx Assassin lose a melee Rax, and maybe even more. Fluff has gotten stunned up. He's taking a lot of damage from the Elstrom procs here. Might go down. He's got a huge Soul Assumption charge ready to go, but Waitzy doesn't care about that. He's chasing him down. Nasal Goo is going to go in a second here as soon as that repel is done. The Elder Dragon form, nicely done. And the Dragon Tail coming through in the clutch. Now SN on the backside looking for Waitzy again. I don't know if you want to focus him down. He's got that mech. Maybe a Breathe Fire going to connect here. Sna getting low. The Quill Spray is doing work. There's the Purification. Repel up on IX Mike still. Lucid Beam actually might get this kill. Raid boss status on Waitzy. He will get away. Oh my god, the enraged timer.
Now he has an AC. Oh, this guy's actually unkillable.
Literally
unkillable.
They do literally no damage.
Koikova, dude. He's just wandering around killing buildings. There's nothing they can do about this. Roar does not. I mean, he's got a Lincoln's for the Roar, and he has BKB for everything else. So there's just nothing that they can do to stop him. Yeah. Look at him. He's in the base with 4 heroes killing people.
Mike's like, help, please. I'm dying. Somebody. Anybody. Well.
This does not look good.
That is a Mont note if I've ever heard one, Greg. I'm going to call you out on that.
Doesn't look good, dude.
It doesn't look good. Jesus. Well, 32 minutes in. The gold graph, I'm sure, is looking even more spectacular for Liquid as it gets to 25k. Experience-wise, about 25k as well. So, I mean, my goodness, Liquid are... They're in command. You could dare say they're doing it, even.
I mean, I think a lot of it maybe comes down to the draft here. This Omni Knight, it's been cute, but GA has not really been used that effectively. I mean, the biggest thing is like the first couple usages of it are really when you're looking for it to pay off, and it just didn't. They had to use it defensively. They're lacking consistent damage output here.
Oh, Demon.
I don't.
Demon's dead. Whatever. Oh, they got the gem back. That's nice.
I don't know. I feel like they needed a damage dealer on either the core, the mid laner, or either the off laner, because neither, or solo laner as it is, neither of them really have any damage. Both of them are sort of set up. Or, well, wait, Mike's isn't set up, but he certainly doesn't do a lot of damage. He's more utility.
They're gonna try to fight this. Liquid are just sitting back. There's a Mjolnir charge or way too. I don't feel like you want to fight in the way too Mjolnir charge here. The static shield. He's actually taking some damage. Soul Assumption's not going to do anything. He's going to tickle him as he turns his back to Fluff and stuff. Right now, it just feels like... And I agree with you about the cutesy off-lane, or solo safe lane, rather, Omni Knight. And this is kind of Mike's stereotypical style. He was known in the NEL for creating off-laners out of heroes that shouldn't be in the off-lane. Sand King comes to mind. Faceless Void as well, which is a bit better. But this... I've seen him do the solo safe lane Omni Knight before, and I remember it paying off, but this game is a bit different. And you could argue also that they have 2 stand-ins for Sneaky Nyx Assassins, so they're not going in with the most confidence in the world either. The game's not over yet, certainly, but they've lost a set of racks in that top lane. Koikfa is getting away with murder right now, and 33 minutes in, Liquid are just kind of running at the rest of Sneaky Nyx Assassin's squad.
Dire's middle tower is under
they can afford to do this with such a huge advantage. They do have Ag's Deathward here is really the only danger, I think, and Plus is just stacking HP items. He has Ag's, 2 Bracers.
Bracer Gaming. Well,
Gaming, trying to live through those demon waves.
This is the most long-winded Mexican stand-up I've ever seen. TC got roared. He's going to get loose speed. Wait's going to run in. There's the Guardian Angel. The Death Ward is up. TC getting low. He's going to pop his Elder Dragon for it, but he might die, and he will. Eclipse, Waitu. That Aegis is done now, but the damage is being dealt. Wow, my God. Bulba just stole the Death Ward. He's going in hard. He's going to force back, but now they're still chasing down Waitu. Or who's chasing who? Waitu jumping in, grabbing the kill on the Omni Knight. Snog getting chased down as well. Koikfa dishing out that damage with Shikuchi. The right clicks, double kill for Koikfa. Everyone is now dead for Sneaky Nyx Assassins. A good start to the fight, but, well, Nyx, they'll GG out immediately.
Yeah, they know that this one is just over. There's a crit stick now on the Weaver, and Liquid just have way too much damage. There was a timing, I think, where this could have worked for the Nyx Assassins. Maybe Luna's not the right pick for it. If you do want to bring this into the late game, I think you need another damage dealer in either your mid lane or your solo lane, and they just did not have that, and as a result, that timing window shuts and the door closes, and I think Liquid slammed their fingers and it cut them off.
Yeah, that was... There was a point, like you mentioned, where it looked maybe solid for Sneaky Nyx Assassins. That point... That went quickly. So, Sneaky Nyx Assassins, they're already down 1-0, and this game, this revenge series that we thought was going to be a big deal, with 2 stand-ins, is not looking good for Sneaky Nyx Assassins. We're going to jump into game number 2 in just a moment. It's a best-of-3 series. Loser goes home. They'll be a part of the prize pool, but they want to move on here to the grand finals to face off against Mouse Sports in that best-of-5 series, which will be a couple days from now. So, guys, thank you for joining us here on the American Dota League. Go ahead and follow the American Dota League at twitter.com/AmericanDota, and on this channel, twitch.tv/AmericanDota League. Of course, you can follow us, the casters. Follow me at twitter.com/Dota2. I'm Mont. With me is What Is Hip. You can follow him at twitter.com/WhatIsHipTV, and check out highground.tv for all of the information on us casting. So we'll take a quick break, guys. Stick around. We'll be right back.